Booyah! Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to everybody out there. I hope all is well with everybody out there, man. Thank you guys very much in advance for joining my stream. Thank you very much for your time and your patience. Well, as you can tell, what's the title and the thumbnail? And I was looking at Elon Musk, which I actually follow Elon Musk on X, and I think he's a very intelligent gentleman. I think he's very smart. I think he's a very brilliant businessman, and he's doing a lot to help the world. That SpaceX stuff is going to change how people look at traveling out of space. So I think Elon Musk is a very talented person. So once in a while I'll go in and look at his X page, and I noticed something on his X page earlier that he tweeted out, and I looked into it, and I'm like, wow, it's a lot of controversy. It's a lot of controversy, and it's very, it's a very huge topic in society right now. So I honestly want to use my words in a respectful, friendly manner while I'm doing the stream, because I want to keep this family orientated as the YouTube community guidelines. I want to keep it family orientated as much as possible. And let me just get this out the way. I'm a true believer that every of God kids on this planet deserve to be happy and enjoy life in whichever way they choose with their lives. I honestly believe that every and all of God kids on this planet deserve the right to be happy in whichever way, shape, and form that they choose. God give us all 24 hours, and whatever any individual choose to do with that 24 hours to themselves and with their lives, once is not causing no harm or hurting nobody else, so be it. God bless us all. We have to learn to be more accepting and more respectful to each other's differences. So I just want to get this out the way. Me, I'm a godly person. I believe in fairness for everybody. Whichever way, shape, and form you want to live your life, you want to do whatever you choose to make you happy in your life, go for it. Once it's not causing no harm or no hurt to nobody else, you're doing whatever you please to do with your own body, go for it. Yeah, so that being said, guys, we're going to get right into the video, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check this out. Let's go, baby. Okay, we're having a little bit of difficulties. What's going on over here? What's going on? Having a little difficulties over here, man. Honestly, don't know what just took place, but I'm gonna try my best to get it back. To the way it's supposed to be. Let's go. Yeah, guys, that's what I do every day before I get on stream. So I just, wanted to make a little introduction video about myself. I love lifting weights, man. That's my thing, Just want you guys to know that about me. That's something that I really do as as much as I possibly can, work out. I love to work out. I love it. I love pumping iron. And then plus I used to be I used to be close to 400 pounds. I got up to, my heaviest was 397. You know, I was very obese, and I came down to what you see right now, what you're looking at. You know what I mean? So I dropped down. Right now I'm currently 205. I weighed myself a couple of weeks ago at the gym, but I'm like between 210, something like that, but somewhere in the middle. You know, but yeah. I'm happy. I'm loving life. I'm enjoying life, you know, more and more every single day, and just working towards financial independence, which every one of us is hoping eventually to be successful at, becoming financially independent. You know, yeah. But that being said, guys, this stream today is going to be a little different from every other stream that I have done. For the simple fact is, I don't really like getting into controversial stuff, because I know I don't like, you know, hurting people's feelings. I don't like going down the path of, you know what I mean, like getting involved in things that could have the potential to, you know, bother people. I'm not one of those type of people. I don't like being like that. You know what I mean? So I just want to get that out the way right now, so everybody knows how I am and what I'm about. But this is a very, very controversial topic. You know, it's highly controversial in every which way, shape, and form. And I just want to bring it up, you know, but once again, I want to make sure me talking about it, I want to make sure I speak about this topic in the most respectful manner as I possibly can. Because, as I said from the beginning, I think all of us as God kids deserve the right to be treated with respect, kindness, love, care, no matter what we intend to do with our lives. You know what I mean? Like, once what you're doing are not causing no type of damage to nobody, other than, you know, you're just doing what you want to do with your life, I think go for it. You know what I mean? Honestly think that everybody has the right to do whatever make them happy in this world. You know what I mean? Whatever that might be, go for it. You know, don't let other people's hateful words, or, you know, don't make other people's ways detour you from actually being who you really want to be in life. You know what I mean? I think we all have the right. We all deserve to be treated fairly, and we all deserve to be treated with respect. You know, God gave us all 24 hours. You know, in the 24 hours that God gave us all, we have the choice to make, to do what we think is necessary that makes us happy. You know, we all got that choice. We all got the 24 hours to do what God, you know, God put us on this earth. We all got 24 hours. And I really think that every one of us deserve the right to use the 24 hours according in whichever way, shape, and form that we want to make us happy, to bring happiness to our heart. I think we deserve it. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't agree with what I'm saying. You know, a lot of people has different ways of, you know, different words that they will use, but they don't understand hurting people's feelings and saying certain things about people to make them feel less about themselves is not being a good person. You know what I mean? I don't think it's necessary for nobody to go to sleep crying. You know what I mean? I don't think it's honestly necessary for nobody to go to sleep feeling ashamed of who they actually want to be. You know what I mean? I think we all deserve that right to be whoever we choose to be. You know, I think we all actually deserve that right to do that. So let's get into this video right. This is the video actually I sent earlier on Mr. Elon Musk's X page. Always whenever I think about it, I always want to say Twitter, but nah, it's changed. So this is actually what's the video that I discovered earlier when I was just going through looking for a topic to discuss today. And this is a video right here. Let me see if I could get it up. Okay, so he's not on stream, so I gotta figure this out. Oh yes, that's what I have to do. I gotta delete this all over again and bring the feed back up. I hope that doesn't mess up what I'm doing right here, dude. Seriously. Alright, let me get out the shot. This is actually the video right here that I sent earlier on Mr. Elon Musk's X page. You know, and we're gonna watch it together and have a discussion about it. You know, I know I'm on live stream, so all of this is just like insane. This is not pre-recorded. You know, everything is just right now 100% live. This is me actually touching different buttons and doing different things. But yeah, let's first look at this video that I discovered, and then we have a general conversation about this video specifically. All right, if you didn't hear, I'm gonna rewind this video because I was like doing a lot before the video actually started. But this is a new and then when I seen this video on Mr. Elon Musk's page, I went and I did a little research to see exactly what that was about and what was going on and what was the, I just wanted to get a little background story, a little story from what's really going on with this series. So then I looked into it. It's actually a brand new series on Netflix, and it's basically about a little kid that came out to his family and just told his family, this is what makes me happy. This is, this is what I want to do. This is what I want. This is who I want to be. And this is what brings me happiness. And this is causing a lot of controversy in this world right now. Listen, I seen this video and I'm like, this is causing lots and lots of friction amongst people, and we're going to discuss it. Once again, I'm going to just show you the video from the beginning once again, and then, let me know in the chat how you really feel. You know what I mean? Let me know what's going on, how you guys feel about this situation. Let me get rid of this chat. All right, let me go back into the chat box. Yeah, guys, listen, this is live. This is live. I'm seriously doing my best to get this done the right way. So it's just killing me right now, but it's a lot. It's a lot, guys. Please bear with me. Please, guys, bear with me out there. There you go. I just wanted to get my chat up and running. Okay. Now I get everything up and running, guys. Let's go. All right, we're going to go back once again from the start of this video. And please comment. Let me know how you guys feel about this topic and this situation. Like, and once again, I want to stay in the YouTube community guidelines. And as I say from the beginning of the stream, I'm a firm believer that we as God kids, we all deserve to be happy in this world. We all deserve to make the decisions that actually bring joy to our heart. The decision I might make with my life that makes me happy, it's a possibility you're not going to like the decisions I'm going to make myself happy. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to being respectful to each other. You don't have to like the decision I'm making with my life. This is my life I'm talking about. I'm not hurting nobody. You know, it's my life. I'm choosing to live my life the way I want to live it. You don't have to like the decisions I'm making, but all I think that we all should be more respectful and more accepting to each other's differences. So just know my stance on everything in this world, not just on this topic. This is my stance on everything in this world. We as God kids, we all have to unite. We all have to realize that we're not going to always get along. We are not going to always agree on a lot of things. But we have to know that regardless of our disagreements, we have to build more patience and have more patience with each other's differences. We have to be more accepting to each other's differences, especially when people are doing stuff that doesn't bring you no type of hurt or harm. If you see how someone else is living their life, you don't like it, you don't have to be around you don't have to be around them. It's not necessary to watch other people's lives and stand on the sideline and just wish bad and say bad things about people. I think that's terrible. We're all God kids. There's things that I could possibly be doing that you don't like. Me personally, I like doing things. Everything that I do, I want to make sure God approve every day. The 24 hours God gives me every single day, ladies and gentlemen. From the moment I wake up off this bed after 4-5 hours rest, from the moment I put my foot on the ground, I don't get off the bed immediately. I take the time out to say a prayer to God to say thanks for guiding me and my families through the night. Regardless if sun is not rising, regardless it's not even sunrise, but I get up early every day. But once I get that 4-5 hour rest, I take the time out to say thanks to God first. And then throughout the rest of my 24 hours, I always do what's right in the eyes of God and his family. I like helping people. I like congratulating people. I like supporting people. That's just who I am, because that's what God wants us all to do. Support each other, love each other, care about each other, and do what's right for each other. So that's me. That's where I stand on any subject that you will discuss with me, or any subject that you will hear me discussing on these live streams. It will always be like that when it comes to me, because I respect people. I respect people's differences. My opinion is not always right. So I respect other people's opinion as well. Every single day, me personally, I always want to learn something brand new. I love to learn. People who think that they're too old to learn something new, they're always gonna have turmoils within their life. They're always gonna have some type of turmoil, because every day, the 24 hours God gives us, we could learn something different. It doesn't even matter if it's a baby that we're learning something from. Learn. Always be willing to learn something every single day. You know, always be willing to learn somebody else's differences that you think that you never knew about. That person's differences, because you could actually learn something because of the way they're living their life. They're living their life in a different fashion from how you live your life. But you could learn. There is always a lesson in something. So instead of being hateful and disrespectful to others' differences, be more understanding, be more open mind, and learn as much as you can. You don't ever have to like or accept it, but you have to at least come to the point in your life where you could respect what others are doing. You don't ever have to like it. You don't ever have to be around it, but just always come to the conclusion that we learn to respect what others are doing, because it's going to bring you peace in your heart. It's going to bring you peace. 100%. I'm 100% accurate with those words. Because more you hate and talk bad and wish bad upon others, it brings you turmoils. It creates havoc in your life. The more you watch what others are doing and you respect others' differences and you respect what other people are doing, you might not like what it is, but respect it. It brings you more peace within your heart. I promise you. So let's check this video out. And I got a couple more videos on this topic. We're going to hang out for a little while. I hope you guys are not busy. Let's just hang out for a little while and check this video out, and we go from there. And that's something I'm very big on, is like what you just said. Be happy with who you want to be. Live your life, and no matter who is wanting you to be different, if whatever you're choosing to do bring you happiness in your heart, live your life. But the thing about all of this, right, what I'm saying, this, what we just looked at, is kids. This is not an adult, because I looked into it and I'm like, is this like, those people that's talking is adults? No, it's like a kid telling, other people in the family at the age of where they're, at the point of where they're at in their life. That individual is young. We're looking at cartoons. We're not really looking at physical individuals, yes. But this is basically catering to, is like little kid's story. It's like a little kid's story that's from small to growing up and deciding at what age that they want to be themselves. This is basically the bottom line to the story. And you guys can go check this story out. It's currently on Netflix. It's a series. So when I looked into it, what I got out of it, this is basically a kid who is telling his life story from at what point that he wanted to come out and basically say to friends and family, this is what makes me happy, this is what makes me comfortable, and I'm going to continue being this way. I don't care who like me or don't like me. So the whole reason this is like a firestorm right now, the whole reason this is like a hot topic, is because it's a story of a kid. And you could get into this debate, into this arguments, and we're going to keep, let me know in the chat, how you guys truly feel about this situation. And once again, keep the comments PG-13, please. Keep it at, respectful to everybody. Keep your comments respectful. I would appreciate it. I don't want to disrespect YouTube community guidelines. So I'm going to make sure I want to get through this entire stream without getting any red flags in the YouTube community guidelines. So let's finish watching this video. It's very important. I think it's very important, but at the same time, right, there is, all right, in society, we know as little kids that we need adult supervision. I want to choose my words very carefully on this stream. That's why I'm like taking my time to say, because words are powerful. Words are very powerful. So I have to choose my words very, very cautiously on this stream. So as kids knows, that you need adult supervision. You need people that's older than you to watch over you and to help you make the right choices as a little kid. So when you're 10 years old, you're a 10-year-old kid, right? You go to your mother or your father, you go to both of your parents, and you say to your parents, listen, Mom, Dad, I know I was born Tommy, but since I was born, I never see myself as a Tommy. I see myself as a Wendy. You know, I'm just using names. I'm just listen. This is just coming off my head. So this is don't take it to nobody. If I'm using your name, don't. I'm not disrespectful in no way. I'm not. So just keep that in mind, please. All right. You go to your parents and you say, listen, moms, dad. And mind you, that's your 10-year-old kid talking to you, saying that I was born Tommy, but I never felt comfortable being Tommy. I want my name to be Wendy. I want to feel like a Wendy. As a parent, what are you going to tell your 10-year-old son, who you know as your son? When he was born, you name him Tommy. When he was born, thank God, healthy, out your womb as a mother, in that hospital, and from as long as you know life itself as a parent. I don't have kids, so I'm just go with what I'm trying to create a story around this whole thing, right? And as a parent, your whole life, all you knew was when the doctor said that your baby is born. Even nowadays, you could go and get ultrasounds so you could know exactly what gender what gender that God is going to help you bring into this world. You know that from pregnancy nowadays, you could go get ultrasounds and you will know exactly what gender that God is going to help you bring into this world, on this planet. So throughout the 9 months, you know that you already got the name Tommy, you know is a boy, and now Tommy is 10 years old, and Tommy is coming to you and telling you those things as a parent. What are you going to say to your kid? Remember what I said earlier, right? Listen to what I said earlier. I want you guys to pay attention to my words tonight, because I'm going to speak very, very slow about everything that I'm going to say. Remember when I said earlier, as kids, we need guidance from adults. We do, as kids. Example. I'm going to give you a couple examples tonight as well. First example. If you have a 10-year-old kid that constantly eats candies as much as they can, every time they'll go into the cabinet in the house, and you don't want them to eat the candies, but yet you always keep candy and junk food in that closet, and they constantly going in there without your permission because they're 10, constantly going into that closet and eating junk food all the time. Every time you go check the junk food, they're eating it. Even if you put a lock on the cabinet door, they'll find other ways to get junk food. It comes a point that you're going to say, okay, you know what? My kid has a problem that we have to speak about. And you as an adult, you're going to tell this kid, like, listen, I know you love junk food. I know you love eating candy. But at your age, eating all this junk food is going to take a toll on your body going towards your future. As an adult, as a grown-up to that kid, you're going to take the time out to make sure, even when this kid comes to you and says to you, like, listen, I love candy, I love junk food, I want to eat junk food every day for the rest of my life, you as an adult will know, like, okay, you can't eat junk food as long as I have the I don't want to say permission, but as long as I have the rights to watch over you, junk food cannot be something you consume every single day. Because then, God forbid, something happens to you in the future, I'm the one that's going to be held accountable for what happened to you, because you was brought up under my roof. I am the one that's going to be looked at. And mind you, we're talking about a 10-year-old kid. So you will take the time out to make sure you tell that 10-year-old kid that, listen, I know you're telling me you love candy. I know you're telling me you love junk food. But you have to understand, this is just something that you like right now. But you have to decide, you have to start thinking of being different in life, because consuming all this junk food, and I'm telling you as an adult, consuming all this junk food could lead to a lot of health problems down the road. As a grown up, you're not gonna right there and then tell this kid that it's okay, regardless this kid is telling you how much they love junk food. As a parent, as a grown up that's watching over this kid, is not gonna tell this kid like, oh no, it's okay to eat junk food every day. You're gonna take a stand, because eating junk food eventually destroys your health in the future. And you might say, well, that's a big difference from somebody coming to you and telling you that they was born Tommy and now they want to change into Wendy. You might say that's a big difference, but in reality, it's an example. What I just said to you, the example I just said to you guys, it's very similar. It's very similar, because there is some parent out there right now. There's some parents out here in this world right now that the conversation that they will have with Tommy, immediately they will accept Tommy's decision. And you have to realize, we're talking about a 10-year-old kid. And my point is that if a kid will come to you and tell you that how much they love junk food and how much junk food pleased them, if a 10-year-old kid comes to you and tell you that they no longer want to be Tommy, they want to be known now as Wendy, from here on out, they want to be known as Wendy and dress like Wendy. No more dressing like Tommy. There is a lot of parents that right now that immediately will give the green light to their kids. And once again, please don't take my words in any way, shape, or form as being disrespectful. That's, to me, it's not the way this should work. It's not. Because the same way you're going to convince your kid that's telling you that they love junk food and junk food brings them joy to their heart, the 10-year-old heart, that they cannot picture themselves not eating junk food. Same difference. Your son, who you knew as Tommy, is coming to you and say, from this day forward, being Wendy really brings joy to my heart. I want to be Wendy. I want to be Wendy from now on forever. And then you don't have this conversation and say like, listen, at 10 years old, I wanted to be an airplane pilot. And at the point at 10, when I decided and I really liked the fact that people to learn to be an airplane pilot, because I see people driving the planes and I really was fascinated. Mom, Dad, I really, I want to be a pilot. I wanted to, as a parent, you're going to say like, I wanted to be a pilot. But throughout my journey in life, I realized the things that I wanted at 10, 2 years later, I didn't want to be a part of that no more. At 12 now, I had no consideration of being a pilot no more. And my point of saying that, you have to tell your 10-year-old kid, things change every single day in our lives. Every day. Things change. So I think instead of immediately giving your kid, a 10-year-old kid, the green light to be who you want to be, and this is what you want to be, I'm going to fully support you. That's where I think, and listen, I don't have kids, and whomever parents are doing that, may God bless you. That's your kid. That's your choice. I'm not saying anything I'm saying here. Please don't take it in a disrespectful way. That's just my opinion when it comes to little kids. If Tommy now is coming to you as a parent, and Tommy is 18 years old, and Tommy said, listen, Mom, Dad, I have something I need to tell you guys, and and I feel now is the right time to have this conversation, and now I'm 18 years old, and I've been feeling this way from since I was born, from since I was little. I always been feeling this way about myself. Like I never felt comfortable being Tommy. I never felt comfortable dressing like Tommy. I never felt comfortable people calling me Tommy. Like I always felt like Wendy. I always wanted to dress like Wendy. So now this kid, which is not a little kid no more, that's a grown adult now, at 18, coming to you as a parent. At that point, you could say, absolutely, from this day forward, I will no longer call you Tommy, I will call you Wendy. Because my whole point is you have to give kids time for the brain to develop, to make sure this is the path they want to go down. So giving a 10-year-old kid the green light immediately because they feel like this is what they want for now, you don't know in a year from now what that kid will feel like at 11, at 12, at 13. So just please understand there is a difference from your kid coming to you as an adult. As an adult, you give your kid the full support. God bless you if this would make you happy. From this day, I address you as Wendy. But I think at 10, it shouldn't be something that parents are actually should be willing to accept immediately without having some form of conversation about like the cons and pros of that lifestyle. Having some form of conversation about what could happen in a year from now. If that's truly what you want in life, I love you. I'll be there for you as much as I can. I'll 100% support you. If that's truly what you want and what you desire when you're 18 and older, I'm 100% behind you. You're my kid. It doesn't matter, the decisions. Once you're happy with this decision, let's do it. So we're going to listen to this other people debating. This is a debate, and we're going to take a look at this debate, and you tell me how you feel about this debate, and I want you guys to tell me in the chat. This is a very touchy subject. This is very, very emotional to a lot of people. You know what I mean? I don't have kids, so I can't really tell people how to raise their kids, but I'm just giving you my honest opinion when it comes to this topic, which every time I get on the streams, I like doing the streams. So every time I get on the streams and every topic that I discuss is going to be truly my honest opinions, and it's going to always be respectful. Anything that you would like to tell me in the chat, I would love to answer you. We could have a discussion about it. Let's do this.
Okay, so you would be okay with them getting any type of either brain scans or anything before they go through medical transition, right? That way, because 13%, which you say that it's 1%, it's actually 13% of people do detransition. So to avoid that, they can bring up. I'll even show the study on my phone to you right now.
Well, I'm sure you have things that say that, but it doesn't make it true.
So you're just invalidating the entire study.
That's not true.
You're invalidating the entire study. Let me ask you this: are you okay with this medical transition if they get brain scans before?
And he's saying, Donald Trump, listen, our president, don't bring our president name up in this discussion that you're having. The president made an executive decision when he took power, when he came into the White House. His first couple of executive decisions that he signed was I'm just looking for the right words. The first set of executive orders that he signed into law was no transgender athletes should be basically competing with women. And once again, this is a topic that a lot of people gave the president a lot of backlash on. But it's common sense. It's common sense. Regardless, I completely understand. You want to change from who you was born to become something else. I completely get it. And I respect you. I respect that decision. That's your decision. You have to understand, no matter how many blockers you will take, no matter how many PEDs that you will take to transition over your strength, you will never ever lose your strength if you was born a male. That's my whole thing, and that's what I'm saying. What the president did is just common sense. You could take as much blockers as you want. You could use as much PhDs as you would like. You will never use anything that will be able to take the strength that God gave you, that what you was born with. You will never lose that strength. Never ever lose that strength. Regardless how much different you will come transition wise, your strength will always remain the same. And you could ask any doctors, professional that exactly what I just said to you. Your strength is going to remain your strength always. So when the president said that it's ludicrous that transgender people are actually competing with females that was born genetically females, it makes no sense. And once again, this is not about being hateful or being disrespectful to people. Absolutely not, dude. I'm not disrespectful to nobody. I'm just saying, if my sister been boxing for 10 years, she been boxing, busting her butt for 10 years, practicing, training, and then you, as someone who was born a male, but yes, you transition, you did all the things that you needed to do that's necessary to transition into becoming a woman, you should not, my sister should not be having to go fight you in a boxing ring. Because once again, it comes down, yes, my sister could be very talented, but guess what? If you are also talented, if you are also been boxing for 10 years, so the levels of skills, the skill level is basically matched. Your skill level and my sister's skill level, but the only big difference is my sister punch will never be able to hurt as much as your punch. Because your strength is always going to be advanced over my sister. If you are working out, lifting weights, and my sister is lifting weights, regardless of all the blockers and the PEDs and everything that you use to transform over, you're still going to keep the strength that you was born with. That's the only thing that you can never lose. It's the strength that you was born with. So it's not fear that my sister is practicing for 10 years with the strength that God gave her, and she's lifting weights and trying to get stronger. And you was born stronger than my sister at birth. Genetically wise, you was born to be stronger. Man was born to be stronger, 100%. So it is just common sense. When the president signed that law, I'm like, I don't know why people is different. It's common sense. This is nothing personal. This is not about, oh, people should be what they want to be. Yes, 100% everybody should be what they want to be and be happy being themselves. But if you're going to put a transgender against a biological woman, it's not a fair match. It's not a fair match. I know everybody want to be accepted in life, 100%. Everybody should be accepted. Transgender people should be accepted in the Olympics too, but it has to be transgender competing against transgender. It can be the other way. It can be a transgender female competing with a biological female in a boxing match. It's just by common sense. It just makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. So this man is talking about the president, and that's what he's referring to. The president's lie. How? By saying something that's it's common sense, dude. Let's keep listening to this guy.
For the medical transition.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so how do you know someone's born trans? Give me the definition. How do you know they're born trans?
So, transgender is when your gender is not the same as your birth sex.
Okay.
And so when someone says, I'm transgender, then I'm like, okay, so you're transgender.
Okay, so how do you know they're born that way?
They know, and they tell us. And then we see that when we affirm their gender, their lifespan and their quality of life increases.
So you
And
agree
that
there's no
matters to me.
objective way to measure it? It's all subjective, right?
No.
Okay, so what's objective measurement that someone's born trans?
An objective measurement that someone is born trans?
Correct.
When they say that they are born trans, that is deeply important, but also there's differences in the actual brain of trans people that correlates to their gender.
Like what?
They are more similar to that of their gender than their birth sex.
Okay, so that's an objective way to measure it in your opinion, correct?
Well, it is a factually
So then you're
objective
okay.
way to measure
So
it.
then,
This guy is just asking him logical questions. This is all subjective. Everything that's coming out of this guy's mouth is all subjective. That's what I said earlier, that if your 10-year-old kid that you know as Tommy come to you at 10 years old and say exactly that to you, and I no longer want to be Tommy. Now I want to be called, I want to be Wendy. I want to dress like a Wendy. I want to be named Wendy. I want my name to be called, I want people to call me Wendy, and I want to live my life from this day forward as Wendy. This is the thing that I was saying earlier. This is somebody that will immediately give a 10-year-old kid the green light. And that's where I think in society, this is where it's going to end up causing more harm than good. Because another example, right? Put it like that. In society, a 10-year-old kid is not allowed to be with somebody that's 30. If you're 10-year-old, this is another example, right? If you're 10-year-old kid, boy or girl, all right, let's just use a little girl in this situation. If your 10-year-old little girl come up to you and say, Mommy, Daddy, my friend from school, Dad, or I think my friend, and that's all, I'm just using, a story. I'm just saying a story. This is not nothing truthful about what I'm saying. I'm just creating a story to what we're talking about. So your 10-year-old say, oh, Mommy, Daddy, my friend from school, father who picks up every day, I think he's cute. I would like to talk to him. I would like to hang out with him. As a parent, that is outrageous that your 10-year-old daughter is telling you those things. Like, what? What are you talking about? You will immediately like, what is you saying? You're 10, he's 30. What are you talking about? Immediately you will shut that down. Because in society, that's not tolerable. That's not something that is acceptable in society. We know that. So you're going to tell your daughter, like, listen, you probably like your friend's father, but just know because of your age, this can never happen. So in your mind, if your daughter would have come to you at 18 and said this to you, As a parent, okay, you know what? My daughter is a grown woman. She likes her friend's father. You know what? What am I going to do about it? You know, let her be happy. That's my daughter. I love her. If she likes the guy, let her be happy. At that point in your daughter's life, she's a grown woman. So regardless if you tell your daughter, regardless if you tell your daughter yes or no, your daughter's going to do whatever she wants to do regardless. Hands down. But at 10 years old, you know you're going to do the most you can to make sure your daughter don't ever go around that her friend's father ever. You're going to make sure you do the best you can to avoid this situation from ever becoming something. You know that. So he's saying if somebody who come to him saying that they was born, once again, the story I said earlier about Tommy coming to his parents at 10 saying he want to be Wendy, this is the type of people that will immediately, instead of saying to Tommy, like, listen, we have to discuss this situation. You know, we have to figure this out because this is how you feel now. Yes, mommy, daddy, I've been feeling like that for a couple of years, you know, and okay, Tommy, we understand. But just know that you're a kid. You have to give yourself time to grow. You have to give yourself time for your brain to develop. You're 10 years old. You know, you can't be taking this serious at this age right now. You want to tell your kid. You don't want to tell your kid immediately, okay, this is what you want, do it. You never, it's a baby. At 10 years old, you do the best you can to protect your kids at 10 years old. Every parent should do that to protect the kid. So you saying because of a kid coming to you and want to do something else with their lives at 10, it's okay to be like, all right, immediately, it's fine. I'm going to support you. Whatever we got to do, let's do it. No. It's a 10-year-old kid. So that's where, to me, where things are going left. Because this is something that's very, it's spoken in school. It's spoken to little kids. And a lot of little kids, you know, it's thinking, and like, once again, I want to use my words correctly. Let's keep watching this guy.
We could agree that kids should have this brain scan before they medically transition, correct? Wouldn't that be a good middle ground?
I would say that
Because you say there's an objective way to measure it, correct?
I am saying that is one objective reality of the trans existence. What I am saying is that because all queer and trans people who are transitioning as young people in the United States do so with about 3 to 5 medical professionals, I trust that those medical professionals know more about that individual than I do.
100%. The medical professional is supposed to know more about everything that's going on. But the thing is, there is a saying, right? Like, growing up with my grandparents always tell me, you could become a product of your environment. And what I've been noticing from since I was a little kid to now, those words are very true. You could actually become a product of your environment. And a lot of people in 2025 are becoming products of their environment. And what does that mean? The community that you're growing up in, the neighborhood that you're growing up in, the people that surround you every single day. The neighborhood, the community, and the people, they're going to play a big role in your decision making growing up. What does that mean? Once again, if you are being brought up with, man, I don't want to say stuff that I don't want to say things that's going to make people feel like I'm being disrespectful, because I'm not. I'm really not. All right. If there's a little kid that's growing up, right? If you're a father and the woman you had the kid with decide to be in a lesbian relationship, I'm just going to use a father, so a guy who was with a girl and the girl ended up getting pregnant and having the baby. But that girl always been bisexual. She always been with boys and girls. So she decided to be like, okay, you know what? I want to be, I don't want, no longer want to be with you, the father of the kid. I want to go be with, somebody of the same gender. And your kid is growing up with the mother and her partner. The likelihood of that kid growing up to think what he see or she see on a daily basis is going to play a role in that kid's life in the future. That's 100%. If a little kid is being brought up in a same couple relationship, same gender relationship, it's a higher possibility that that kid from little to adult growing up, seeing what's going on around, that kid is more likely to accept and want to be a part of what they grew up seeing. Because we have to understand, kids learn from what they see. Kids' first rule of education is visualizing things. Do you know when a baby is born, when kids are born, little babies, you could look at this if you think I'm bullshit. Whenever you're around a little baby, I'm talking about a baby, whenever you talk, just look how they stares at you. They'll just stare at you. They're just stares. They'll stare at you the whole time while you're talking, because that's their first lesson. The first lessons, the first things that they start comprehending in their little brain is people. They're just listening. They don't know what you're saying, but they're looking dead in your eyes. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure it out and figure it out. So kids learn from what they see. Even before they start talking and telling you anything, before they start talking to express themselves, they're watching everything that's going on around them. And they're learning every day. Regardless of a baby in a stroller, a baby in a car seat, that baby cannot even talk. But that baby is watching everything. They're watching everything. And they're learning from what they're seeing. You don't never underestimate a baby because they can't walk or talk. Because everything you're doing around that baby, they're still learning. It's all registering in their brains. So if a kid, a baby, is being brought up around a same-sex couple, that baby have the potential, a higher potential, to grow up and be more accepting to that lifestyle. You could tell me if I'm wrong or right. You could tell me, please. I don't mind having this discussion. It's just the way of life. It's just simple and plain. It's a lot of people don't think that that's the way it is, but in reality, dude, that's the way it is. It's people was born certain ways, and listen, that's something I don't know. I don't know if kids are born certain ways, but from once I was a baby to now, every doctor, when you're in the hospital, they'll tell you, even when you're a woman and you go for ultrasound, they'll tell you right there and then what gender is your baby. This has been going on for centuries. And it's either you look at gender reveal, you look at so many, now it's a new thing, gender reveal parties. And they don't say this, and they just basically two genders. for century. This has been a part of life. But things change. Things change, and now there is different versions of, once again, people could identify themselves and be whoever they choose to be in this world. Be happy. But I just don't think this is type of things that should be taught to little kids. Because little kids at 10 years old are learning still from what they see goes on. Their brains is not developed in the form of, like they're going to understand completely, what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's, if you're grown, do whatever you please. But having this type of lessons and this type of conversations around little kids, I just don't think it's a good idea. I just don't think it's a good idea to, if your little kid come to you and say, listen, this is what I want to do, or this is what I want to be, and it should be more involved before you give the green light. You can't just give the green light to a little kid. You can't. You know that, listen, we all know that as a grown-up. I don't have kids, but I babysat my nephews. Like I babysat family members, and there is no way you coming to me and you're 5 years old and you telling me you want to go drink a beer, and I'm going to tell you, just drink the beer. We are grown. That's the reason why we watch the little kids. So we know, because they're gonna want to do stuff that they don't know right there and then. The consequences of the actions that they're actually trying to do. So you babysitting a kid, and the kid is, oh, I want to drink a beer. I want to take a shot of this. They don't know what liquor is that. They just see you drinking the liquor and they're like, oh, let me get some. And they want to drink it. As a grown-up, no, you're not getting this. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to, and I'm not saying talk nobody out of nothing. I'm just saying it has to be conversations that are going to take place from that age to the age of you becoming an adult, and I'm no longer your guardian. You do whatever you please with your life, because at that point I know it's out my hands. At that point I know, like, you know what, we spoke, we had discussions, I try to warn them. We had several different discussions about this situation, and 8-10 years later, they're still passionate about this lifestyle. I'm 100% behind you, because now you're adults. I know your brain is developed way more than it was at 10. So if this is exactly still what you're desiring in your life, go for it. And I'm there to support you 100%. You always support people. You always, your kids, your friends, your neighbors, you always support others. Always cheer on other people's success. Always cheer for people when they're doing things that bring them joy. Always cheer for people who is smiling whenever you see them. They might be doing things that doesn't make you happy or comfortable, but they're smiling. They're happy doing what they're doing. They're happy living the life that they desire. Cheer for them. There's no need to ever talk bad and bring people down, no matter what they decide to do with their lives. That's their choice. That's their decision. My whole thing is, I just don't think it's a good idea for things like this to be taught to little kids. I just don't think it's a good idea if your kid comes to you at 10, 11, 12 and tell you that's what they want to do from here on out. I don't think it's a good idea you just give the green light so your kid will go ahead and keep doing that and living that life. I just don't think that's the right way to do it. But me, once again, I'm not a parent. I'm just giving you my honest opinion about this topic. I truly believe that everybody deserves the right to do whatever brings them happiness. But do it when you're an adult. When you're an adult and you have nobody, no guardian but God, you're making the choices and decisions that you truly believe that's going to bring you joy in your heart, go for it. But as a kid, we have to be more protective of our kids, because you're older and you know what could happen if your kid go down that path. You know what comes with that path in life. So I'm going to show you this video of somebody who did their complete transition from one gender to the next, the complete everything. And listen to this story. You'll be shocked with this story right here.
I had sex reassignment surgery. I was on HRT for 17 years. Now I'm on a combo dose because I can't go off. I have multiple health conditions from transitioning young and for transitioning for so long.
Wow. So what was it for you that kind of woke you up to this isn't what I should have done?
I found out that homosexual transition was environmentally caused in almost every single case by childhood sexual assault or by internalized homophobia or failed boy syndrome. 92.5% of trans-identified males are straight and bisexual, and the only explanation for a straight or bisexual man to transition is autogynephilia. So from my perspective, I went there and I was given a blanket diagnosis given to anybody who has a body issue as a child nowadays.
You know that your message will probably make them.
And that's what I just showed you. I don't want to show you no more of this tape because the conversation get a little more graphic. So I don't want to really go down. But anyway, that was the Tommy story I said to you. That was one of this exactly the reason I said that story. This story right here was somebody at a young age that actually went to their family and said that they no longer wanted to be who they was born. They wanted to be something else. And the parents gave them the 100% green light. I'll support you. I'll do everything that's, make you happy. And I completely understand the need to make kids, especially your kids, happy and joyful. I completely get that. I don't have kids, but I see that a lot of parents, they want to bring joy to the kids. And why not? But you have to know where to draw the line and where you have to actually be a parent. In this type of situation, you actually have to step up to the plate and be a parent, because there should be no need or no reason for your little kid, to come to you and say, Mom, Dad, I no longer want to be Tommy, I want to be Wendy. And right there and then, you should give the green light to, okay, no problem. I'm from this day forward, I'm not going to call you Tommy. I'm not going to refer to you as Tommy. You could always, I'm going to go buy you clothes for Wendy, and I'm going to help you get dressed like a Wendy and call you Wendy. And I just think going down that path, it's going to lead into a lot of headaches for kids older they become in life. I'm pretty sure this story right here that I just showed you, the last story, this is not just one incident that took place and it's a far in between from the countless people who have the surgery. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that go through that transition that was young when they went through the transition, and now they're living their life with a lot of regrets. I'm pretty sure there's other stories like that out there. I'll try to look into get more stories. I got 2 more stories, but I'm not going to show you guys the other stories because this is over an hour long stream already. But ladies and gentlemen, I decided to bring this stream. I decided to talk about this subject because it's a very touchy subject. It's a very controversial subject, and it's a highly emotional subject. And I think, as I said for you guys from the beginning of the stream, that I honestly think that every of God's kids on this planet deserve to do things that bring them joy in their heart. We, as all God kids, we should learn to be more accepting and respectful to each other's differences. It's a lot of problems in this world right now, and a lot of the reason for the problems is we don't have the patience to be more accepting of others' differences in life. We don't have the respect to be more, be more tolerable to people differences, and that create problems. Going forward, I think we should all learn to respect others' differences more than we do right now, because we're not all the same people. We're not all the same. We have different fingerprints for a reason. So if you see your neighbor that you know for 20 years, all of a sudden they come to you and they tell you, like, listen, this is what I want to do in my life. This is who I want to be. I think as a human being, I think as God kid, you should accept people for who they are. Accept and respect people for who they are and for who they want to be. We all get the same 24 hours from God every single day. We all do. And we have the decision to make with the 24 hours God give us. We all have the decisions to make with our lives and what we want to do with the 24 hours God gives us. Whatever you are doing with your 24 hours, I wish you all the best. May God bless you every day. Just do what you want to do that brings you joy to your heart once it's not affecting and bothering nobody. My whole thing about this topic, I don't think it should be something that should be pushed in schools for little kids. I don't think that's a positive. That's me. That's my opinion. I don't think this stuff should be pushed in school at all. The whole fact of another thing that I wanted to say, I don't know about other state, but in New York State, somebody who identified themselves as a woman, regardless what you was born as, if you identify as a woman, you are allowed to use a woman's bathroom in New York State. It's a law. If I have a kid, if my little daughter, my little girl is going to school and my daughter come home and tell me that, Dad, I know that person who used the bathroom was born a male, but the teachers allow, because he identified as a woman, they allowed him to use the same bathroom as me. And if it made my daughter uncomfortable as a parent, how would you feel? So that whole bathroom stuff, I honestly think that the state should have a 3-bathroom solution. Once again, accept people for who they are. Accept people for who they want to be. But we have to learn. We have to know in society, like, we can't keep pushing this stuff on people that's going to make them uncomfortable. We can't. We can't be pushing these things on kids that knowing that, okay, a person who identify as a woman, even they are not a woman, they're allowed to use the same bathroom as me, who I am a woman. This should not be allowed. I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable, but they have to deal with it. So to avoid any type of conflict, arguments, or any type of issues at all, have a 3-bathroom solution. In the Olympics, have a category for trans people. And then all this stuff would stop. All of the controversy, because you transitioning into becoming a woman, still the strength. You're always going to have your strength. So it should never be something that is allowed for a trans person to fight a biological woman in a boxing match. It's just not something that should be allowed. Trans people competing with biological women in any sports, it shouldn't be allowed at all. I'm just using boxing as an example, but in every and all sports, it shouldn't be allowed. The only how to solve that problem, they should have a specific category for trans people, and everybody wins at the end of the day. Everybody's happy. Simple and plain. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys very much for joining me on the stream tonight. And I know this one was a little controversial. You know, I want to do different things. I don't want to keep going down the Candace Owens timeline. You know, regardless, she's a manipulator, but let her do what she's doing. I want to keep changing things up and bringing different topics and, you know, talking about different things. You know, I want to build my own audience. I don't want to be considered someone who is using somebody else's fame to build an audience. No, I want people to like me for who I truly am. You know, like, I want to build an audience, you know, knowing that I'm a good person, knowing I have a good heart, knowing what I represent. You know, so whatever Candace Owen represents, I hope and wish her all the best. We're completely different people. I'm not into the manipulative ways. I'm not into doing bad to others to get ahead. If I do tell you I love you, I love you. If I do shake your hand, I really mean it. If I'm around you, I'm around you not just for money. Me personally, I love to be by myself. So if I'm around you, you're going to know if this is a business relationship or if it's a friendship. That's how I am, you know, but yeah. So you're going to see me doing different things, and I'm going to do the stream as much as I can. You know, I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to keep it consistent because I like doing it. You know, like, I'd rather do the streams and actually record a video and edit it and then upload it. It's still cool, but I'd rather do the live stream. What you see, everything is live, and no, you know, nothing fake, nothing edited. I love this, you know. So yeah, I hope you guys hang out with me, man. Monday to Friday, some days Monday to Saturday. You know, yeah, I hope you guys hang out with me. I appreciate you guys' time as always, man. Before I say goodbye, though, I want to take the time to show my gratitude and my utmost respect to the Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, which is Mr. Donald J. Trump, sir. As our president, I salute you. May God bless you and your entire families. May God watch over you and your family, sir. May God watch over you and your family on your trips within the United States and on your trips outside the United States. May God always watch over you and your families. That's our Commander-in-Chief, to our President of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump. To all and every of God kids all through the United States, may God bless us all. To all and every of God kids all around the world, may God bless you guys all. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, treat people with the love, the kindness, the care, the loyalty, and most importantly, the respect that you expect others to treat you with at all times. Always treat people the way you want to be treated. Always do what's right in the eyes of God and His family, and always make God a part of your decision making every single day. I promise you, it will make a difference. And last thing I want to say, guys, let's love each other and help each other and work with each other to make this world a better place. Let's be more respectful and more accepting to others' differences. Let's be more respectful to each other's differences. Let's have a debate. Let's have a conversation, but let this conversation end in a handshake. Let's this conversation after an hour, we're having a debate or we're having a conversation, whatever way you want to look at it. Let's base this discussion on respect for all. Not just for how I feel in my heart, but let's base the discussion we're having in a form of respect for everybody that will listen to it. So let's always choose the words carefully that comes out of our mouth, because our words are very strong. The words that we speak to others holds a lot of weight. So please know, when you're having a debate or you're having a conversation with somebody, choose your words wisely, because you don't want people to go home losing sleep over something you have said to them. You don't want people to hate you or just despise you because of the words that comes out of your mouth. There is free speech, 100%. I know free speech, but there should be common sense speech as well. There should be no reason to blatantly say things out of your mouth that you know is causing pain, hurt to other people. There should be no reason for that. Let's be more kind and more caring to each other. The differences that we do have is a part of life. We're not all the same. But let's be more respectful. And let's be more understanding to each other's differences. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, this world will be a safer and a better place for us all. Until the next stream, guys, stay safe, love each other, man, treat each other with love and respect. I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Have a good night, have a good day, have a good morning. To our president, to our commander-in-chief, if you're in Washington, D.C., sir, have a good night. If you're in Florida, have a good night. Wherever you at, to our commander-in-chief, sir, salute, have a good night.